I don't know, Jack. Maybe they'd like to hear us do a duet other than Happy Birthday from time to time.
Maybe. I mean, we are
Maybe.
pretty awesome.
We really are. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hello, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm all right. My foot hurts if I screwed it up, and it's all arthritic now. So otherwise, I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, you're an old man. You need to be careful. I'm all right. No real complaints. Dude, my first tomatoes growing.
Oh.
I told you guys I got tomato plants and I haven't mentioned them really since, but I have been taking care of them every day. And my first tomato, it's about the size of a pea, but it's there. So I got a tomato. I'm so happy.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I got the plant so late in the season, I wasn't even sure that I was going to be able to get fruit on them, but yay.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, a little bit late in the season. It's actually not, depending on the plants. I didn't decide to do it until we got back from Virginia, and that does make it later in the season, but I'm hoping we have a late frost this year because sometimes we have late frost. And if we do, I still have another month of tomatoes, which would make me very, very happy.
I have a feeling we're getting an early winter this year. So
why are you trying to hurt me, man?
Not trying to. It just happens.
That feels like a hurt. Carrie says, it's me birthday. Oh, we get a duet anyway. Carrier. Whoops. Carrier. This totally one's for you. Oh, I'm fairly certain I call Carrie all the time, which isn't wrong. I mean, I'm just dropping off the ER. It's more like an endearment thing.
You're dropping the hard R.
I'm dropping the hard R. Carrier, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carrier. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hope you have a good one. Really, really do. Old McMonkey had a farm. Yeah, indeed. I created an entire vegetable garden in my basement at the end of last year. I can't do that. My basement is finished. I would have to destroy the place to do that.
Quitter talk.
Yeah, but I kind of like, it's where my bedroom is, Jack. Don't want to be sleeping next to the potatoes. If I wanted to do that, it would get a job.
Might wake you up like, I want some water.
I was going to say, if I was going to do that, I'd become a school teacher. Anyway.
Sorry, I stepped on your joke.
That's all right.
I thought you were going with that.
Oh, my God. Oh, we got a lot to talk about tonight. First up on the screen there, just so y'all can see it. This is an article from the Atlantic today. And it says, he wants you to look at him. And then underneath it, this is about Trump being, booked. And this is his mugshot. Trump's mugshot was supposed to be an exercise in humility. He turned it into a threat.
God, the derangement is just out of control. And I am coining the phrase now, Trumpnosis.
Trumpnosis, yes. I saw you said that. That's a good term.
I thought so, because it's not just their Trump derangement syndrome. Now they're assigning him psychic powers. Yes. He has Trump hypnosis, or I call it Trumpnosis, where he can mentally force you to look him in the eyes.
Look at me.
Look at my mugshot. Look at it.
Dixie says she got her Monkey and Jack shirts, and they're fantastic. Thank you for supporting us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Hope you enjoy them.
Yeah, I really like the shirts because I always like when I'm setting up the shirts, I get the comfort tees.
Yeah.
And because I think those are far superior to the regulars.
Yeah, they feel better. They're nice.
Yeah, they're nice and comfy. Because those are the shirts I like personally. So I was shocked by the fact that I thought they were really good quality. Because I thought they'd be kind of like mid-range, but no. Because I bought a couple of shirts just to see.
How many hours do you think he practiced that look, ass retro? I don't know. That's a stern look. There are people also mad that Jenna Ellis smiled in hers. This one lady tweeted out, what was it? That it showed the lack of respect she has for her chosen profession because she's a lawyer.
No, they're showing a lack of respect for these ludicrous charges.
Well, this one right here, it was supposed to be an exercise in humility. Literally,
is that what the legal system's for? To create?
We were trying to humiliate him.
Yeah, that's disgusting and honestly pretty evil to weaponize the justice system so you can humiliate your enemies.
I love that exercise and humility. You're saying the quiet part out loud. By the way, if you read this article, oh dear God, she thinks she's Hemingway.
Oh, of course, they all do.
Trash writing.
Oh yeah, and they all think they're the second coming of Hemingway or Woodward and Bernstein. They always talk like that,
especially because when you go to the Atlantic, these are artsy fartsy people that write for the Atlantic. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And instead of just writing clear, coherent paragraphs, they get all fruity with the language.
Yeah, they're like, oh, look at my flowery prose. That means
exactly.
I'm smarter than you.
Look how smart I am. No. You just sound like a retard. And frankly, just from the beginning of the article, I mean, right there in the subheading, humility. That's not what a mugshot's for.
No. Look, these people are egotistical lunatics, but some of the biggest shitbags I've ever met in my life were so-called writers. So it doesn't surprise me that she's a smug psycho who is more than happy to try and humiliate somebody by putting them in jail. It's gross. There's so much disgusting behavior going on these days.
Here's the one about Jenna Ellis. This one says, Jenna Ellis makes a mockery of the legal profession by smiling in a mugshot? All right. This insulting mugshot is the latest in a long line of actions designed to cause distrust and ridicule of her chosen profession. Her smiling was designed to cause distrust of lawyers, Jack.
How?
I don't know.
Is this one of those weaponized smirks that I've heard tell of?
Absolutely. Trump was threatening people, and she's denigrating the entire legal profession.
Yeah, she should look somber and afraid, like we want them. They should be crying, openly weeping tears because we are going to imprison them for having wrong thoughts and this forced conspiracy of talking to your lawyer. That's how they're defining conspiracy now.
Oh, yeah.
You consulted with an attorney. That's a conspiracy in furtherance of your evil maliciousness that we assigned you. Real fast,
let me get this one. Circus, thank you. His mugshot has given Trump so much street cred. A lot of gangster rappers are bringing him their support now. Throwing him their support now. Backfiring in ways they couldn't have expected. Sorry, I just wanted to get that. It was directly related. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Want to know what I learned recently? That paracetamol barely affects me, so it doesn't relieve any of my pain. Ibuprofen, on the other hand, is amazing. If only my face didn't puff up twice as large, because now I can't close my mouth properly. Oh, dear God, man. I'm sorry that first one I can't pronounce isn't helping anything. But ibuprofen is pretty amazing. Yeah, I'm sorry your face is puffing up too. That's not cool, man.
Yeah, I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, you should probably try and get a hold of your doctor and tell them that the stuff they gave you isn't doing anything. There's other painkillers out there.
Well, they might have already, and that's what they're okay. Just try ibuprofen. We're not going to give you anything stronger. Remember, they're really down on the pain drugs these days.
Yeah, babies. She should at least get some Tylenol 3s.
Thank you, Jordan, who says, hanging the mugshot up in my living room. After all, Trump is being framed. Fair enough.
Right?
I love the thinking about this because, oh my God, she smiled. He didn't look humiliated. Fuck off. And frankly, I wish all of them would have done this. I wish they all would have just got up there and given this fucking shit-eating grin. That would have made me happy. I get what, Trump was going for the more, what are you doing to me?
Yeah. The determined defiance.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
And this is what they're really mad about is what Cirque wrote in his there. They are mad that it is blowing up like that it is not humiliating these people. that so many people are grabbing onto it going, haha, fuck you. He doesn't care. Fuck you. That's what this is all about, because it was supposed to humiliate these people. It's why they did it. The other indictments hadn't done that to him. They didn't show humility, but they didn't make him. We're going to make him do the whole thing. I'm shocked that there wasn't a perp walk. And my guess is if another indictment comes down, which I think there's still more possible, they're going to do a perp walk. They're going to insist on it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want that moment of him in handcuffs being surrounded by cops, which honestly will just make the police look bad. I don't know. Everything they've been doing on this has been backfiring on them, and they just keep doubling down and doubling down.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stubber. 4 doors, more excuses. How the self-proclaimed male nurse with a handgun and angry mob were the real victims. Oh, we'll get to that. We will get to Kenosha in just a few minutes. I just wanted to bring this one up. We talked about it last night with the whole mugshot. And look, you guys, everybody told you this was a mistake. Everybody told you if you gave him a mugshot, he was going to use it for merchandise, that the people would grab onto it for memes, and that it would blow up. Thank you, Keldrig. He did not prostrate himself before the nobles. True. That's what they're saying here. And JB, thank you. I wanted to send that line from Casino where Joe Pesci says he wants everyone dead, but YouTube won't let me. LOL, whatever, have to jack. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, JB.
Arizona charges still forthcoming. Yeah, there's those, maybe. We'll see what happens. I mean, they might be like, all right, you know what? We'll leave it at Georgia because, for the record, this is a conspiracy. Can we admit that?
A conspiracy against Trump?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But Jordan, thank you so much for becoming a monthly member. Appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome
to the channel.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the real conspiracy here. And maybe they'll get together and go, you know what? This is far enough. It just keeps blowing up in our face. And I don't know. Maybe they'll be that smart. I'm not real sure on that, Jack.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole thing is such a ludicrous debacle to begin with.
Yeah. What's up?
I can't say it out loud.
Oh, okay.
But just said hi to somebody in chat with a creative handle.
Oh, fair enough. Oh man, sorry guys. I am tired. I did not sleep very well at all, Jack.
I didn't either. I fucked up my foot real bad. And every time I move, it starts flaring up. So
I did not realize that my anniversary is the same day as the Kenosha shooting. I found that out yesterday when all the liberals were losing their shit because it was the 3rd anniversary of Kyle Rittenhouse killing a pedophile, a wife beater, and a retard who pulled a gun on him. And he didn't kill that guy; he just blew off his bicep.
Yeah, he bicepped him.
He unicept him is what he did. Because now he's only got one left.
Yeah, well, fuck that guy. He wasn't supposed to have a gun anyway, as I recall. His CCW was expired.
He was not supposed to have a gun, and he pulled it. And on the stand, he finally did admit, yes, that Kyle did not shoot at him until he moved towards him with a gun, that he was pointing at him. So, yeah, there we are, guys. It is the 3rd anniversary. Well, yesterday was the 3rd anniversary of the Kenosha shooting, where Kyle Rittenhouse found himself in an unfortunate position. Now, look, I still maintain the world probably would be better if he didn't go that night. Certainly for him.
Yeah, his life would have been infinitely better.
There's a bunch of kids who are better off that he was there that night. Because let's talk about JoJo, Mr. Mark Ruffalo's good friend JoJo, Joseph Rosenbaum, who was a child predator. Well, and it's not an accusation. It's not an accusation. He was found, I don't remember if he was found guilty or pled guilty, but to raping a child under the age of 9.
Yeah, but he had 5 counts of raping a preteen.
And in that, actual penile penetration is part of the case. So fuck him. I don't care that he's dead. I don't. And even we were just having this argument before the show with an idiot on Twitter.
Yep.
He was like, hey, he didn't know he was a pedophile. It was a pedophile chasing a child through a parking lot.
Yeah. And trying to disarm him on top of that.
And trying to take his weapon away.
There's a lot of euphemisms you can make right there. But nonetheless, there was an imminent threat to Kyle at that moment.
Yep.
And the fact that the human debris that was this chomo got fucking iced, I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of sympathy here. In fact, I have a negative amount of sympathy because that's like being attacked by a bear. Except I would respect the bear more because that's an instinctual thing to eat. This was a child rapist. As far as I'm concerned, the kid eliminated a demon off the face of the universe. Dude, and sent it back to hell.
How do we know that JoJo wasn't going to rape him? Does anybody have evidence to prove that JoJo wasn't going to rape him? I'll wait. He has a history. It wasn't allowed at trial, but he has a history. Why are they still making a big deal of this? Asked Ramen Lewis. Well, my friend, because Kyle did something no one else could do. He put an end to most of the riots. This is we're coming towards the end of summer, and while we still watch quite a few of them there in Portland and Seattle, most of the other ones die out at this moment.
Yeah, because now they're shooting, fighting back.
Yep.
And this was a teenager on top of that. So obviously with so many sex offenders in Antifa, they were probably getting a little nervous because they already lost one of their domestic abusers and a pedo. They're like, oh, that's a lot of us now. I don't know.
Yeah, the domestic abuser, he's the one I always forget. Fuck's his name? Huber. That idiot. He's the one that hit Kyle with the skateboard, and Kyle put him down with a shot to the stomach. He also was grabbing at it or coming at him, and swings the skateboard, hits him in the neck. That's where the prosecution actually made the argument that you should just let yourself get hit with a skateboard. It's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, only people have died from that. You know, it's just you should just let yourself get your ass kicked by these psychos. Real fast. Thank you, Jordan 250. Enjoying today the cocktail called the Rittenhouse. It's a chaser followed by 3 shots.
Nice.
You need to make that an annual tradition, man.
Yeah. Look, I disagree with people who say Kyle's a hero because Kyle didn't go there looking to kill pedophiles and assholes. He went there looking to protect and help people. And I guess in that case you can say, but he's not a hero for the shootings. He's a victim because of those. And that might sound weird to people. Kyle's a victim. He's absolutely the victim in these cases.
Yeah, he was chased. He was shot. Well, he thought he was being shot at.
Yeah.
Some pedo threw a bag at him that he didn't know what was in it and then tried to take his gun. And then a mob of people descended on him.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me they all had good intentions. That's absolutely ridiculous. And of course, Gage had a weapon that he did point, admittedly, on the stand. He pointed that gun at Kyle.
Yep.
And then lost his bicep, which is his own fucking fault.
It's the only shot Kyle misses. Well, okay. It's the only shot that hit somebody that Kyle missed. Because he does shoot jump kick, man.
Yeah.
He shoots at him twice and misses. But Gabe, you got lucky as fuck. Kyle was only off by about 6 inches.
Yeah, if he had, I'm sure he was scared and the adrenaline was kicking in by that point. But if he had just been a little more accurate, that dumbass would be dead too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that idiot realizes that because he's still whining about this shit. So fuck these people. I don't feel bad for any of them, especially the demon Chomo that was out there trying to, God knows what, during a riot. So fuck all these people. I don't care about any of them. They're out there burning cities to the ground. And then you've got a domestic abuser, a so-called medic that has a concealed firearm he's not supposed to have, and a pedophile. When you really want me to feel sorry for these people, Jump Kick Man probably has a record too. I don't feel sorry for these thugs. These people are scumbags.
Well, let's go through what happened. So Kyle shows up in Kenosha that morning. He lived just across the border. They love to talk about how he crossed state lines. What is it, 20 miles?
Yeah.
It was like 15 to 20 miles.
Lines.
He did not cross state lines with a gun, and he did it to go clean debris from the shitheads rioting the night before.
Yeah.
Now, around this same time, JoJo, Mark Ruffalo's favorite pedophile, is being let out of the mental hospital where he had just served a 72-hour, you got to stay here because you're fucking insane. Kyle then hangs out with friends, and it comes up that, there's this parking lot, this car lot, not just a parking lot, that's looking for people to come, protect it for the night, and he gets recruited into that group. The two gentlemen who own that get on the stand and lie. One says he never even met Kyle. The other says he absolutely didn't talk to him. Problem is, there's pictures with both of them with Kyle. So they got caught lying on the stand. Did they get charged with perjury? No. They were state witnesses, so absolutely not. So Kyle that night goes to protect it, and he brings his actual medical stuff because he is trained in first aid, unlike Gross Crotch, who we'll get to in a little while. And he's like, we're here just to protect this, and I'm here in case anybody needs any help. He's on camera saying this before any of this shit goes down, that he's there in case people get hurt. He can go out there, and he's bringing his weapon because it's dangerous. That's why he's got the weapon there. It's not to shoot anybody. It's because it's a dangerous situation. And much like when you send in EMS, you don't send them in there without the cops making sure it's okay first, that it's secure. You got to have security there for that. And unfortunately, well, the cops were dealing with other shit at the time because there was a riot going on. I don't know if you guys remember that. Then Kyle goes actually looking to help people. He goes out looking to help people. But before he does, and this is also something that comes out on the stand, JoJo, the child rapist, is there at the car park in front of this group of people who are there to protect it, telling him how he's going to kill him repeatedly. I'm going to kill you. That's what he said repeatedly. And the lawyer said, did Kyle hear this? He goes, well, he was with us, so yeah. Kyle breaks off because he actually goes to try to help people. And then several fires break out, and he goes to a gas station to get a, what's it called? A fire extinguisher. And goes to try to fight fires, but instead he runs into JoJo, the magical child rapist, who, by the way, Mark Ruffalo really loves. And JoJo argues with him a little bit and chases him a little bit and then hides behind a car. This is in the footage you can see from the FBI. He hides behind some cars in the parking lot where all the shit goes down. If you're looking at the parking lot from above, the shooting takes place in the upper left-hand corner. In the lower right-hand corner, JoJo's hiding behind a car. And Kyle comes around the corner, and JoJo takes off chasing him. That's how that chase starts. JoJo jumps out from behind a car in a darkened parking lot. And as they cross the parking lot, JoJo throws a bag at him. And just as they're getting to the shooting spot, there's a shot fired by another gentleman who we'll talk about in a minute. And that's when Kyle turns around. JoJo reaches for the gun, and the world is rid of a pedophile. That's how that all happened.
Purification. Nature's healing.
Indeed. Jack, the gentleman who fired the original shot, he was just sent to jail.
Indeed. Yeah, we talked about that the other day.
I don't think we talked about it on stream.
Oh.
I think you and I talked about that after the stream.
Oh. Whoopsie.
Yeah. Him and his girlfriend, they were there. For that shooting, which, by the way, he fired a gun in the middle of a city, illegal as fuck, did not get prosecuted for it.
No.
He was never called to the stand either.
Interesting, huh?
Very interesting. The prosecution just lets him get off, and he never has to come. Okay, Retro says we did talk about it. Okay. So that guy's now going to jail. Wasn't it armed robbery?
There's some kind of robbery, but they got like 3 years for it.
3 years, him and his girlfriend are going away. He's going to get a new girlfriend for the next 3 years.
No, he's going to be the girlfriend for the next few years.
Probably a little hairier, but who knows with these days. All right, so he shoots JoJo, the magical child rapist who Mark Ruffalo from the Marvel series really, really loves. And he's standing there. He places a phone call. And who did he call? He called one of his friends to let him know what happened, right? And a reporter from the Daily Caller is there and runs over and rips off his own shirt and puts it on what's left of JoJo's face to try to get the bloodings to stop.
Bleeding?
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. And Kyle's not running away from the scene until somebody yells, "That's who shot him. Get him."
Yeah, Kyle was going back to help, as I recall, because like he circled around some of the cars and returned. And
yes, he did.
The other guy was already there by that point.
So Kyle hears this and he starts moving down the street because at the end of the street is a police line. As Kyle's moving towards this, more and more people from the crowd are shouting, "Get him!" And he gets hit in the head with a rock, which causes him to trip. And this is when Jump Kick Man comes and kicks Kyle, and Kyle shoots at him twice and miss. And then Anthony Huber, who I keep forgetting like everybody does because even his own family didn't care about him. This is the wife beater. Hits him with a skateboard.
Oh, no, he's the grandma choker.
Grandma choker. That's right. It was his grandma, wasn't it?
This is his grandma and his brother. And he tried to strangle his brother and he like beat up his grandma. And I think he tried to choke her.
I thought there was one where he also beat up his girlfriend there.
He might have, but the beating on grandma is a little bit more offensive.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen how hot his girlfriend was.
Fair.
Anyway, I mean, grandma could have been hot too.
I doubt it.
My wife's hot. She's a grandma.
Yeah, but your wife's not that old.
That's true. All right, so he hits Kyle with a skateboard and reaches for the gun, which was a big mistake because he basically pulls it into his own abdomen where he gets shot, stumbles off to the side, and dies. Now, coming from the way Kyle had been coming is Mr. Grosscrotch, who, as he's coming up on Kyle, he stops for a second and Kyle lowers his weapon. And that's when Gabe pulls out a gun that he's not even supposed to have, points it towards Kyle and moves towards him, in which case Kyle aims and blows off his right bicep. Funny as fuck to watch, by the way. It's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen, especially the way he screamed afterwards. Look, Kyle got kind of lucky in that one with the arm shot. It immediately makes the gun drop.
Yeah.
If he had caught him in the chest or something, he might have still been able to bring the gun to bear.
Well, the gun was pointed at Kyle. That was testified to. So, yeah, he probably would have been shot if he had center massed him. So, yeah. I think this was like his guardian angel just moving that bullet just a bit.
Yeah, because if he had, the way Gabe is standing, if that shot is seriously just 6 inches to Kyle's right, because he's sitting on the ground facing him. 6 inches to Kyle's right, Grosskreutz dies. It would have been his heart. So both of them got lucky with that shot, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Kyle gets up, turns, walks towards the police. He tells the police, I just shot somebody. And they're like, get back, get away from us. He's holding a gun, telling them he just shot somebody. And they tell him to get away from him.
Go away, kid. You're bothering me. Who was the cop? W.C. Fields?
Yes.
Go away, son. You're bothering me.
He goes back to the original car thing, talks to the people there. They tell him to go home. He goes home, tells his mom what's happened. She takes him to the Illinois Police Department. I forget the name of the city he's from. And he tells him what happened. He goes, I need to talk to a detective from Kenosha. And that's how he's finally, arrested and everything, or at least this becomes an official case. All of this is recorded. All of it. And most of it was already online. Long before this blew up, even as a news story. There was there was a shooting in Kenosha, but as they're trying to demonize this kid, all of this was known. It was out there. You and I watched it basically live.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw most of this fairly shortly after it happened.
Yeah.
I think there were a couple of them that were still going right around the time. So yeah, we saw it within minutes, some of the footage anyway, not all of it, but some of it.
And by the next night, we were watching the replays and stuff of it. Mm-hmm. It was clear what happened in this case.
Yeah. Thankfully, this is one of those times where Antifa wasn't able to shut off every live streamer.
Mm-hmm. And actually, this is probably what precipitated. They've been trying to shut them down, but this, I think, is really what precipitated it. With them going, no recording. And that way, none of their bad deeds can be seen. Again, why do they hate him so much? Why do they keep bringing this up? Because he shut them down. This moment shut them down in so many ways.
Now they had something to fear because people were starting to fight back. In their minds, they prey on helpless people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got to run around and loot and burn everything and nobody's going to do anything, what's the incentive to stop? But if there's a chance that your armed thuggery and attacks on people and their property are going to be pushed back against, obviously that's a problem because most of these people are spineless pussies.
If you want to see how bad the reporting was on this, you can still find the debate between Vaush and Destiny. And it's an amazing thing to watch. Because Vaush is convinced that this Kyle guy is a murdering fuckwad that he just fired randomly into the crowd. Which, by the way, did not happen. Kyle fires 8 shots that night. 4 of them at JoJo, Mark Ruffalo, DC or Marvel Comics, his favorite child predator. 4 of them at him, 2 at Jump Kick Man, 1 at Huber, and 1 at Grosskreutz. That's all he fired.
Mm-hmm.
He never fired at anybody who wasn't directly in front of him. So the narrative goes out that he killed black people. I mean, fuck, we saw a story after the trial,
mm-hmm.
that he killed 3 black guys. He didn't even kill 3 people. He killed 2. He killed 3 black people. No, he didn't. He didn't kill a single fuck. No black people. None.
He shot at a black guy, Jump Kick Man, but he missed. Yeah.
And yes, Faithless, people who were directly attacking him.
Yeah.
No innocent bystanders were hit.
Real quick. Thank you, Circus Zero. Anthony Huber assaulted grandma and ex-girlfriend and held a knife to his 10-year-old brother and threatened to gut him.
There it is. I knew there was a girlfriend in there.
Yeah, it's amazing the heroes that these clowns will pick, and you could judge people by that, who they idolize. They've enshrined these 3 scumbags as their heroes of Kenosha. It's disgusting, especially the fucking child molester. And Huber was not exactly a winner either.
No.
Gage Grosskreutz was probably the only one that wasn't like a complete degenerate, but we don't know his full story yet.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. Mobs chase murderers. Actual Vosh quote. Seriously, watch that. It is fucking amazing how Vosh is so fucking sure of himself.
Yeah.
And every fucking fact of the case wrong on things that there was plenty of video of. But that's how a lot of the left see it, because that's how it was told to them. And they didn't bother going to look. They don't know. He shot at the crowd. That's how he got all these people. No, he didn't. And then he went to turn himself in. He was trying to turn himself in when they attacked him. Huber would be alive if he'd left him alone. Grosskreutz would still have his bicep if he left him alone.
Yep. They had, for the most part, no evidence this kid did anything. And they attacked him anyway because of mob mentality.
Yep. He got hit in the head with a rock, and that's when Jump Kick Man wouldn't have got shot at if he left him alone.
Yeah.
Faithless says it took the trial for Anna and the Turks. True. But isn't that the one where Anna goes, I didn't even watch it. I didn't watch the video.
She didn't watch the original video.
Yes. And had the nerve to go out there and tell people what they should think about it. And I do mean what they should think. Notice I haven't told you what you should think. I told you what happened. And you can go check it. Go watch all the fucking video. Go listen to the trial. What I told you happened. That's how it happened. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you what happened. Believe what you want. If you believe after all of that he is a murderer, that he shouldn't have been shooting at people, fine. As long as you acknowledge the real facts of what happened. She didn't watch the New York Times video until after the trial. Then she retracted. Yeah, and the New York Times video, I'm good on her if that's what made her change her mind, because that was decidedly anti-Kyle. Like all of their shit is any. For some reason, Kyle becomes a hero of the right. And I get it, but he wasn't really there to stop the riots. It just is the after effect of it. But what he never should have been is a villain of the left, because that was just fucked up. CNN post-trial saying they just learned all the information. Yeah, there were so many publications where we learned this because of the trial. Like, what? You didn't watch any of the fucking videos that were out there?
Why didn't you do your research?
I mean, the videos were posted immediately after the shootings, some of them during the shootings. Yeah, it's insane. But every fucking year now, they try to tear this down. Just your reminder, Kyle Rittenhouse is a murderer. No, he's not. O.J. Simpson is a murderer. Kyle Rittenhouse is a kid who had to defend himself from an angry mob and a pedophile. That's who he is. This is a kid that, I don't know if you've seen him talk about it, Jack, but he has nightmares about this, and he will for the rest of his life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He'll need years and years of therapy just to learn to live with this.
Taking a life is not easy. And if you look, I've never done it, Jack. I'm just going based on people who have. Mm-hmm. And the only ones who are like, yeah, no big deal, are fucking psychopaths.
Yeah.
Most of these guys, I mean, this is why you get people back from war and we celebrate them as heroes, which they are, but they don't want to talk about it.
No, because they've got to process that and live with it. You don't want to keep reliving the horrors that you've had to deal with.
It's not. Keeverdam, thank you. I was in a long back and forth with some dude on Twitter back in December about this. He said Kyle should have done gopher task during the riots. The fire department was there, and he should have called 911 after he shot Rosenbaum. His account is now gone. Thank you so much. It's very, very generous, Keever. And yeah, I've argued with all of these. Look, I wish Kyle hadn't gone that night for Kyle's sake.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about the people he shot. Not one goddamn.
No. He shouldn't have been there. He's a kid. But I understand why he was. I don't think he should have been there, though.
Here's the thing. He shouldn't have been there. But you know who else should have been? Everyone else.
Yeah.
The entirety of people there, none of them should have been there. None. This was the third night of them burning down this city because a fucking sexual assaulter got shot when he reached for a knife when he was supposed to be cops were called because he broke into that fucking house.
Yeah. And it was creating a problem, trying to kidnap the victim, and her kids apparently were in that van.
The kids were in the car, and the police are trying to stop him, and he won't stop with guns drawn on him.
Yeah.
And he reaches in for a gun or for a knife. The cop sees it and shoots him. He didn't even die, by the way. Jacob Blake is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Which
more everybody crippled. Forgets.
He's more crippled than I am, which is better than he deserves.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and they take to the streets to destroy the fucking town over this piece of shit.
Yeah, that they defend and martyrize criminals, and especially rapists and peds. Man, what is that all about?
It can't be coincidence. Let's be honest.
I know, it's disturbing.
He's Professor X now. Yeah,
without the psychic powers.
The city ends up not prosecuting him for that, and then settles with him for a big chunk of money, which is fucking disgusting to me.
Yeah, dude should be in jail.
Yep. He deserves to be more than a cripple, in my opinion. And if you've heard the accounts of his ex, of what he did to her, frankly, they probably should have shot him as soon as they pulled out their guns.
Yeah. Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. The silver lining to this rain cloud is that two absolute pieces of filth have been forever cleansed from the planet. It shouldn't have happened, but I can't complain about all the results. Yeah, well, that's kind of where I'm at with it, too.
Jack and I talked about this all through the riots, that something like this was going to happen. You and I thought it would be more direct, that it would be somebody who was actually out there looking for trouble.
Yeah, I figured it'd be somebody wearing some, like the LA bank robbers. Remember that? The two guys wearing body armor, walking around with heavy artillery.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be something more like that. Couple of guys with high-powered rifles and semi-autos running out looking for people to shoot. That's more along the lines of what I expected. But yeah, vigilante justice. The cops aren't going to do their job. This is what happens. And 2 days of rioting? Come on. How long before people get sick of this shit? Well, in this case, it took a teenager with the AR to put down a pedo and a domestic abuser before people started saying, hey, whoops, maybe this is going too far.
A teenager with an AR whose stated purpose was to help people who got injured.
Yeah.
Remember Kamala Harris visited him in the hospital and called him a hero monkey? Yeah, Jeff. She did that while Biden's account, we all know it's not Biden, tweeted out that Trump wouldn't, what's the word? Not disassociate, denounce. Wouldn't denounce this white supremacist with a picture of Kyle. This white supremacist who shot all those honkies.
Yeah.
He's really bad at being a white supremacist.
Right?
I mean, how do you shoot the skinhead?
I don't know.
Rosenbaum had his head shaved, probably for lice. I'm just being honest here.
Yeah, well.
That's JoJo, the magical child rapist, Mark Ruffalo's from the Avengers series, his favorite pedophile. That motherfucker, the reason I keep saying that, for those of you who don't know, Mark Ruffalo actually put out a tweet about what a great guy JoJo was. Because apparently he grew up in Kenosha or something and knows the family or what. JoJo was a child rapist. And if you want to come out and go, look, he had his flaws, that's one thing. But he gives this glowing fucking review of that pedo. Fuck him. Fuck you, Mark. You're a dick. And he got a lot of pushback for that, which he rightfully deserved.
Absolutely.
So, Jack, that's the retelling of what happened there. Then we have the trial, which was interesting. Very interesting trial. Now, there were a lot of people who think Binger, the DA who had this trial, that he got set up for failure. You can actually read several articles that say this, because the DA, the actual DA of the town, didn't try it himself. And it's this big thing. Well, the reason he didn't try it is he was still dealing with the Jacob Blake case, which by that time, I guess you could argue wasn't as big of a deal. But it did cost the city more. Just saying. So I don't think he set him up. I think this was a bad case from the beginning, and they never should have brought it. And things like somebody running for president, the front runner in the Democratic primary, saying, hey, this guy's a murderer, I think that had more to do with it. And actually, at that time, we're talking 2020, August of 2020, he was actually, we're in the general election at that point. So he's the actual candidate for the Democrats. And there's all this pressure on them to do something about this. So they did. And they had a weak ass case. For all of the dumb shit we saw Binger do during that trial, and I forget the fat guy who sat next to him, but all that we saw them do, they did their best with the case they had.
Yeah, but it never should have been brought. This was beyond weak.
These charges never should have been filed, because they hit him with 6 charges originally. 2 of them are thrown out. There's the gun charge and the being out after curfew charge. But they couldn't prove that the police were actually enforcing the out after curfew thing because, there was a fucking riot in the streets.
Yeah.
So they throw out those 2. Well, the judge throws them out. And they're left with 4 charges. There's a murder and attempted murder. I forget what the other ones are. And the jury comes back after 3 days and says, nah, bro. Nah. Lots of great moments from that trial. We couldn't even go over them all. One of them is Grosscrotch when he actually admits that he's moving towards Kyle with the gun. The fat guy on the DA side, you can see him with his head down, almost shaking his head like, oh, fuck. Yeah, fuck. Because, that's part of their case is that, no, he was just shooting people to shoot them. No, he only shot people who were a direct threat to him. There was the crying by Kyle and people like, there were no tears. You know what I've never heard anybody say, Jack? That is crying at the end of the case where he's found not guilty, where there's also no tears. That wasn't real crying.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same exact look as when he's on the stand and he's being asked to relive what happened and he breaks down and he's not really crying. Not everybody cries like a girl. No offense, ladies. But with just tears streaming, he was clearly upset. And they're like, he's faking it. That wouldn't help him, really. I'm just saying. But yeah, even LeBron James commented on that.
Yeah, LeBron James is a piece of shit.
Oh, he really is. But the trial was interesting, to say the least. Got lots of lawyers on YouTube, a big bump on their channels, and good for them. I'm not saying that with any malice or anything. I think it really good. A couple of them turned out to be questionable, as some YouTubers do. But for the most part, we got a good, what they started calling LawTube out of it. And then we get into the Amber Heard trial where they really blow up. But this was the start of it. Nick Rekieta, he got a big jump out of this case.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was already on the rise from the lull suit between Maddox and Masterson. Yep. And then this case came along.
And he's been, it's not like he had been covering nothing but, nonsense. And then, there's a case he's been covering cases all along.
Yeah.
So he's good at it and he deserved the rise he got out of that. The people who are trying to tear this man down, it's been 3 years. Let him have some peace. He was found not guilty. Move on with your lives. That's all you got to do. Leave him alone. What you guys are they're trying to get this kid killed, Jack.
Oh, of course they are.
they want a vigilante to go out there and hurt Kyle, and it's disgusting. It's very transparent, and frankly, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, but they don't have any shame. They defend pedophiles.
Yeah, they do. No, they insist they're not defending him. We're not defending it. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are.
You can say you're not all day long, but you absolutely are.
Yeah, you're sympathizing with one of the worst types of monsters on the planet.
Thank you, Wabajak. To your point about conspiracy being a dumb charge yesterday, Monkey is committing a conspiracy with us to not make videos anymore.
It's true.
I am not.
Really? When was your last video?
It's been a while.
Uh-huh.
Hey, look. I got 3 videos hit with privacy complaints. I'm nervous about making them.
Uh-huh.
That's what it is. I'm gun shy. Yeah, some asshole on Twitter said they were going to report me, and they absolutely did. For privacy complaints on 3 videos. One of the videos, honest to God, it was the modern Renaissance man, Ty Smith, when he was on the show. And I cut it up and made it its own video.
Yeah.
They did a privacy complaint on that one. The other one.
You're ducking out. I can't hear you.
Sorry. The other one was, there was also the donation just came through. The Lori Lightfoot video, and I forget what the third one was. They just randomly picked videos and said privacy complaints. And YouTube sent me an email on the 20th saying that they would look into it if it's not solved after 2 days. And I was supposed to go through and remove anything.
Nothing to remove.
Nothing to remove. So they're going to look into it. And it's been 4 days now, and I haven't heard shit. So I reached out on Twitter and like, guys, this is bullshit. And they said, here, this is what happens with a privacy complaint. I'm like, yeah, I know. What I'm saying is it's bullshit. And hey, does it matter that I have a screenshot of this person saying it? I told you it was a minute before, Jack. I was wrong. It's 7 minutes before the complaint comes through is when this person says it on Twitter.
Jeez.
And they're like, oh, well, I mean, let's go through the process and then we'll see.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Evolved Potato says, one of my favorite moments was when Binger questioned Kyle's silence and violated his Fifth Amendment rights. And as soon as the jury is out of the door, the judge lays into him. Then his cocky ass tries to justify his illegal questioning line. Yeah. So what he's talking about there is Kyle doesn't respond to anything. He doesn't have to. He has a Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate himself.
Yeah. You're not allowed to draw an inference with that.
Yeah, he gets on the stand, and the lawyer shouldn't have to be told this. But he has to be yelled at that you cannot reference that. There's a case that goes back, he says 40 to 50 years. I think it's like 45 or 48 years ago. I forget the name of the case, but yeah, you cannot hold a victim silence, in this case, a suspect silence against them in court like that. You can do it in like civil trials. You cannot do it in a criminal trial.
Yeah. And honestly, it surprised me the judge didn't declare a mistrial right there, which I think is what Binger was fishing for.
Well, that's what the defense was. The defense even put that out there that he was edging for a mistrial, and he said, if this keeps up, I'm going to ask for a mistrial with prejudice, which would mean the charges could not be rebrought.
Yeah.
And I think the judge was trying to just avoid the whole mistrial thing altogether, which I'm glad he did because it came out with the right verdict. And I'm not sure that he would have, if he declared a mistrial, I don't think he would have done it with prejudice. I think it would have been without prejudice so they could have brought charges again.
Yeah, and that would have given him more time to try and restructure that shitty prosecution.
My favorite part is when they get the guy up there who he's an amateur photographer, and he took some pictures, and he testifies that Binger, he goes into a room, he's identifying people and stuff, and they ask him, hey, do you want to change your statement at all? And he's like, nah. And so Binger pulls out a picture of Zelensky. Is that his name? It's not Zelensky. Fuck. The guy who fired the gun.
Yeah.
I forget his name. And he goes, this is that guy. I'm going to call him Zelensky for the rest of us. We'll call him Bob. So nobody's like, hey, it's not Vladimir. I know.
Zeminski.
Thank you, Zeminski.
Thank you, Kiever.
This is Zeminski. And he closes the phone and he opens it back up. And he says, who is this? And the photographer goes, Zeminski? And Binger goes, do you want to change your statement now? Because in his statement, he said he couldn't identify the guy. And he's like, no. And he testifies to this. He testifies to this on the stand. That should have been a fucking mistake. I mean, Binger should be in jail for that. That is
witness tampering.
Yes. Who is this? Just showed him the pic. Fuck off. Yeah, Binger's a douchebag.
He might as well just put a couple of 50s on the table. And how about now? What about Mr. Grant? What does he have to say about this?
Right. Also the tampering with drone footage. Yep. Remember the video editing software on the defense laptop after sending a low-res edited file of the drone? Yep. And they were like, no, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it does. It actually affects what you can see.
Yeah, this is why you never talk to the cops or the prosecutors without your lawyer present. You always listen to your lawyer.
Yeah, there's a great moment in the trial for that where I believe it's the judge, because Kyle's sitting at the table with his lawyers and asks him if he's ever had therapy or if he has any mental illness. And Kyle goes to answer and he stops. And he turns and talks to the lawyer. And then his lead lawyer goes, the reason that there was a pause there, Judge, is because he's in therapy now for PTSD after the shooting, but he never was before. And that's the kind of thing you want to run by your lawyer and let them put it in lawyerese.
Yeah.
Instead of just blurting something out. But yeah, it's a really interesting moment in the case. That case was so fucking weird. The prosecutors belong in jail. I'm sorry. They belong in jail. That was horrific what they tried to do to that kid.
Yeah, they should have been disbarred for this nonsense.
Yep. They put a known liar on the stand with that fucking gross crotch guy. Gave him a deal because he should have gone to jail. It is a minimum 5 to 10 years for having a gun the way you're not supposed to. Depends. Like I said, it used to be 5, but some of the other days said 10 years. I don't remember.
It's probably 5 to 10, but he was brandishing it too, so that adds on.
He should have ended up in at the very least federal prison over that shit, and nothing.
No, he's Antifa. They don't prosecute those guys.
So that he can get on the stand and lie repeatedly about whether or not he came after Kyle until he finally admits, because the video footage shows it, that yes, he was coming after Kyle. And they put a known liar up there. There's a great moment from the trial when they're talking to the guy from the Daily Caller, because he was right there. One of the shots that Kyle fired at JoJo the Magical Rapist, who is Mark Ruffalo's favorite pedophile, one of the shots that was fired at him almost hits the guy from the Daily Caller. I forget his name. It bounced off the ground right in front of him. And he gets up on the stand and he says that, yeah, he was trying to hurt Kyle, that JoJo the Magical Child Rapist, Mark Ruffalo's favorite pedophile, was trying to hurt him. And Binger gets up there and goes, hey, you're not actually in his head. So what you're saying is pretty much guesswork, right? You're just guessing. And he goes, well, he did say fuck you and reached for the gun. It's a wonderful moment. It's a wonderful moment. It's such a bad trial from the prosecution. And again, I still think they did the best they could with what they had, but it never should have been brought. Richie McGinnis, thank you. So yeah, it just never should have happened. Never should have happened. And I really feel bad for Kyle. I really do. He didn't deserve this, man. He just wanted to help people out.
Yeah, but shouldn't have been there to begin with. But I mean, bad shit happens.
Let's talk about some good shit, Jack. You probably won't like it, but many of the audience will. On the screen here is a screenshot from the new Tom McDonald, Adam Calhoun, Dax video. I fucking love this song. The new song's called Black and White, Jack. Deals a lot with stereotypes.
Oh.
And as much as I love the first two verses, Tom does the first one, and oh man, he just fucking nails it. Adams is okay. It's not bad. But then Dax comes up, and god damn, he just nails it. Just nails it. There's a great moment at the first chorus, Jack. The chorus of this is basically they yell white people shit. There's a little more to it, but they yell white people shit. And Dax is standing there, and he's got this look on his face like, what the fuck? Because there's these two guys yelling white people shit right around it. It's beautiful. What the fuck are they wearing? Just silly clothes. There's all kinds of they change throughout the video. But if you haven't seen Black and White, you enjoy Tom's stuff, or you like rap, you should check it out. It's a lot of good music in there, and a lot of good messages in there as well.
It's very good for the hippity hops.
There's a moment in there where Dax says, if you're offended, that's because of the mistakes you've made in your life. I'm like, hell yeah. Spit it, boy. Spit it. Good song. Good song. I was pleasantly surprised when I heard it because you never know. You never know. Oh, this is an interesting one. They are trying to disbar John Eastman, Trump's lawyer. He's apparently not the one who actually came up with the idea that Pence could just say, hey, no, those electors aren't real. Go back to your states. But he is the one who pushed it. John Eastman. He's being disbarred.
Because he had a novel crime theory or a novel courtroom theory. Like
I am not exactly sure what the disbarment is over, but this is interesting. The disbarment trial of Trump attorney John Eastman is such a circus. The judge sustained an objection by Barr's attorney, and Eastman's attorney asked what the objection was, and the judge couldn't tell him and had to ask the Barr attorney to repeat it.
Wow.
She was literally so eager to sustain it, she didn't even pay attention to the reason for it. The Barr's attorney said the objection was merely relevance. That's a super common objection. Doesn't pass the smell test that she forgot what it was in a few seconds.
No, that is so fucking corrupt. Wow.
Isn't it? The judge isn't even paying attention. She has objection for sustained.
Just playing favorites up there.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. That judge should be thrown off the bench.
Yep. So that's going on in our world. Because why not? They're playing politics with everything else. Why not with disbarment? But, we were just talking about Binger and the bullshit he pulled, and he got away with all of it. He got away. There's a witness under oath who testifies that this guy tried to get him to change his testimony to shit that was not real. He's still a DA in Kenosha right now. Meanwhile, this guy just has a novel defense or a novel legal theory. That's what they call it, a novel legal. By the way, at least 2 of the indictments against Trump are novel legal theories.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's you're going after somebody for doing exactly what Smith is doing.
Smith and Bragg.
Yeah. Bragg's a piece of garbage too. It's they're going out of their way to destroy these people's lives to send a message. Do not fight with us. Do not challenge our authority. We will destroy you. We will destroy your leaders. You'll end up in jail for a decade for trespassing.
Yeah. It's insane. Frosted sent us a story tonight. This woman is very mad that I think his name's John Little. I forget his first name. Pretty sure it's John, but he's the guy who he pled guilty to parading in the Capitol, and the judge sentenced him to 6 months in jail and then 3 years probation.
Which you can't do.
Which you can't do, and it was just overturned by the appellate court. And this woman writes an article about how horrible that is. She actually puts the justification for it right there because she shows what kind of punishments there can be for this. And it has imprisonment, fine, probation, imprisonment and fine, and probation and fine. What's not there is probation and jail. And you can tell that they meant either or because they have fine as its own thing, and then they attach it to the other two. But they never attach probation to jail. So you can tell it was not meant that way. It's an either or proposition. But it gets even more interesting if you look at the judge's reasoning. The judge's reasoning for doing both is because they had to not punish. Punish isn't the word. I forget the word. Basically punish. You have to have your punishment, okay? But we also need to be able to monitor you so we make sure that this doesn't happen again in 2024. Yeah. And no, it wasn't send a message. It wasn't. Now I'm gonna have to look it up because I want the right word there.
Yeah, that's what they're doing though, is sending a message like, if you do something we don't like, we will destroy you.
I got to scroll down and find where I responded to Frosted on that one. No, I'll get to that one next. He sent us a couple tonight. This lady, have you heard of Black August?
No.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Wouldn't that be Blogist?
Yeah. Retribution. That's what the 6 months in jail was. We needed retribution.
Yeah, that makes it sound better.
Doesn't it? Doesn't retribution make it sound like, wait, that shouldn't be in our justice system? How about justice? How about we need justice? No, we need retribution. I don't think that's really how it works. But yeah, 6 months for the retribution and then 3 years so that we can keep an eye on him so that he doesn't do it again because he's a bad, bad man.
Yeah.
Look, that dude's under FBI surveillance for the rest of his life. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the feds will always be after him.
Him not reporting to a probation officer once a month doesn't mean shit. So, yeah, they can go fuck themselves. The law is the law. You don't have to like it. And she's really mad because this could affect a lot of people. The only problem is we're getting so far away from January 6th right now. A lot of the people that this would affect, their punishment's already over. It's already gone. They don't get that time back. They won't get any kind of compensation from the government for it. Thank you, Frank. It's not a word the judge should use. Yeah, unless he's talking about what the criminal did in the case. You tried to exact retribution on this man. It should never be used in the form of how justice is being served. Thank you, Spartan John, for that feminist $12. Oh, will you talk for just a minute?
Sure.
I'm not
chat.
So that's fine.
I see people arguing. Let's keep it civil. All right. What?
Yeah. You're welcome, my friend. He just said not to read it in what I was reading.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that there were some arguments going on. Yeah, you guys can argue all you want. Just remember The only rule is just don't be shitheads to each other. All right. So let's look at Black August real fast because I want to get into this because I went and looked up the people that are involved in this. Decolonizing Black resistance.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
In 1926, Carter G. Woodson designated the second week of February as Negro History Week. 50 years later, America finally took the hint and upgraded Negro History Week to Black History Month. Yes, it's the shortest month of the year, and yes, the basis for its existence is under attack, but I digress. All right, stop right there. Let's discuss that. The reason is for it's under attack is because when you separate us, you're just making the problem worse. There shouldn't be a Black History Month. It should just be American history.
And yeah, but you can't have a career based on racial division if you allow people to not be racially divided.
True. But what you can do is if there are Black people that rise to the level of, hey, this is history that needs to be taught, teach it all year. Put, it goes into this month or that month or this part of the curriculum. I mean, it honestly does not make a lot of sense to study George Washington Carver and then Martin Luther King. Those don't go together other than the fact they're both Black.
Yeah.
They should be in different parts of the history curriculum.
I think so.
So that's the whole thing. It's under attack. It's under attack because, well, it shouldn't be needed. It just shouldn't be. And I didn't click their link, but my guess would be that that's actually about Florida and them saying you can't have stupid CRT bullshit.
Yeah. Well, that's usually how they couch it. It's like, oh, you're instantly racist because you don't like the way we want it done.
Now we spend 28 days celebrating innovation, contributions, and accomplishments of Black Americans. In this land where our ancestors bled, we have to fight for everything we get, and Black History Month is no exception. Yet somehow this month-long celebration has been truncated and redacted to a 3-day weekend. What?
I don't know.
Did Black History Month become a weekend and I missed it?
Yeah, it's only on leap year weekends.
Okay.
Thank you, Spartan John, for the feminist donation. And we can't forget Jack. Thanks for all the entertainment, man. Oh, no, thank you for supporting us. It's greatly appreciated. It keeps us going.
It says on Friday, Lincoln freed the slaves. On Saturday, Martin marched on Washington. On Sunday, we elected Obama. Technically, on Monday, we celebrated Juneteenth. But since that's a holiday no one asked for, designed to replace lost revenues from Columbus Day and Thanksgiving, I'm not counting it. But I digress.
Oh.
As a womanix, that's not a word.
She actually put that.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, thank you, Frosty Glass. Blogust is my favorite month, though. A few contenders include Asianuary, Puerto October, Puerto Rico. I can't even say that. Transember, April, and June. JEWN.
As a womanix who considers herself fairly knowledgeable about all things blackety black, imagine my surprise when I learned of another month of celebrating blackness that I'd never heard of. Black August is a month-long commemoration of the history of Black American resistance and political activism. Even though the month also focuses on Black history, it's different from Black History Month because it recognizes folks, F-O-L-X. Carter G would have called disreputable Negroes, and he would have been right.
Oh, like Michael Brown?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Michael Brown's a saint compared to these people.
Lovely.
The incarcerated, the gangbangers, the insurrectionists. Black August became a thing in the late 70s after the assassination of George Jackson and his brother Jonathan at San Quentin Prison State.
What?
State Prison in Marin County, California. Look, we can't read much more of this, and that's fine because this is what I wanted to get to. Do you know who George Jackson is?
Yes. The audience probably doesn't, though. That's
probably not.
Unless you're over like 40, you've probably never even heard that name.
Keldrick, this is a joke, right? This has to be a joke. I refuse to believe this is real. No, it's real. Unfortunately.
Dark Resurrect pointed this out a minute ago. It seems like when you get donations is when your audio ducks.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to correct. Let's start with Jonathan Jackson, the younger brother of George. He was not assassinated. He goes into a courthouse in Marin County there and takes several hostages, kills a couple of people, and as they're trying to drive away, gets shot and killed. He was not assassinated. He was killed during the commission of a crime. That's not an assassination, Jack.
It is if you're a lunatic.
His older brother, George, was serving time in the pen there at San Quentin for robbery, for armed robbery. And if you read the stories on it, it'll tell you it was $70, which is worth like, I think at this time it's worth like $90. I forget. But this was back in 61. And he gets a sentence of a year to life, which that seems kind of weird to me. A year to life.
Yeah, it probably had a pretty good rap sheet for that to happen. Like, if you behave, it's a year. Otherwise, fuck you. You're staying forever.
Well, he did not behave.
I'm shocked.
Him and a friend of his threw a guard out of a third-floor window and killed him.
Jesus.
Because another officer had shot 3 inmates who were starting a riot, and he didn't get in trouble. So they take this other guy and toss his ass out a window. In 1971, while he's still in prison, he meets with his lawyer, and as he's walking back to the cell, the guard that's walking with him notices something metal in his hair. He's like, "Hey, dude, take that out." It was a gun. It was a 9mm. Now, nobody's quite sure how he got this gun. The hair that it was in turned out to be a wig, Jack. But he takes the officer hostage, forces him to release all the other prisoners. During the course of this, 5 people are taken into George's cell and murdered. Yep. 3 others are seriously wounded. They've been shot or stabbed. George, then him and a friend of his find a key and run out into the yard where a sniper gets him from the tower. Now, George is shot and killed, and the other dude puts his hands up. No, not me. I'm straight. So he got to live. George Jackson was not a hero. But, Jack, while he was in prison, you see, he found Marx and Mao and Lenin and embraced them and started writing about them.
Oh, that's all you need these days.
So he becomes a folk hero to the fucking radical lefties here in the U.S. That's who George Jackson was. He was a murderous fucking piece of shit commie.
Yep.
He's no hero.
I didn't hear you describe anything heroic.
He's a fucking piece of shit. And if you're celebrating him, Jesus Christ, the fuck kind of, what is wrong with your moral compass in this fucking country where a murderous Marxist is the person you're like, we should celebrate a month for him?
Yeah.
He was assassinated. Negro got shot, to quote somebody, to paraphrase somebody, because I can't drop the N-bomb here. Negro got shot. He was not assassinated. He was shot during the commission of a crime. Fuck that guy. And then people are like, why do they have such bad heroes? They always have. They always have. Look, Malcolm X was a shitbag. Okay? He was a shitbag. He's a hero. No. He was a shitbag. He comes and finds the Black Muslim movement in prison for crimes he absolutely committed. And then he comes out racist as fuck.
Yep, openly advocated for race wars.
Yep. But hey, we got to have heroes who are shitbags for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, I know that is a Chris Rock line. We talk about Biggie and Tupac because people say they were assassinated. He goes, no, those Negroes got shot. I know.
The problem with communists, especially, is most of their heroes are violent psychopaths because that's how communism comes into power.
Yep.
Through violent overthrow of government. So, of course, they tend to lean sympathetically on people who hurt others.
Yippers. I mean, that's just who commies are. I mean, I don't know how many times we can tell people that.
History has a way of apparently glossing that bit over so that it can repeat.
I'm just going to show this on the screen since we, Frosted sends us a lot of horrible shit, but occasionally he comes through with something awesome. This is in reference to last night's show. He mocked up a MAGA with attitude. Fucking well done, my friend. Well done indeed.
Absolutely.
I feel like that post should have gotten a lot more attention than it did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For those of you who have Twitter, make sure you go tweet this out. I'll throw it in the chat real fast. Tweet that out because it's funny as fuck. All right, Jack. I am out of stories to tell, so you have a couple. Let's see what those are. Oh, son of a bitch.
What?
First one I can't open. Let me see about the second. Nope, I can't open either of those tonight.
That's all right. I'll get them.
Yeah, but I can't put them on screen.
Well, I can give you the original hyperlink if you want.
With the way the internet's been tonight, nah, bro. Actually, yeah, send them to me, would you?
Oh my God, make up your mind. Hang on.
How dare you?
I did what I want. I highlighted it, and then you're like, nah, and I'm like, all right. So I click off it, and then you're like, oh yeah, send it to me. Oh shit.
Dangerous said these fucking morons just made a former president an outsider again, right?
Yeah, they undid any damage to his reputation. It's pretty impressive, actually.
All right. What I'm going to do, Jack, is I'm just going to bring up the headline for it while you read it. This is the first one.
Yeah.
Doo-doo.
This one's pretty short.
All right. Should be on screen.
From the Gateway Pundit, police records obtained by Judicial Watch show Obama chef's clothing were found separate from the body.
Really?
Judicial Watch has obtained 18 pages of records through the Massachusetts Public Records Law that reveal Obama's deceased personal chef, Tafari Campbell's clothes were found separate from the body. The Edgerton Police Department records also show that the Secret Service reported Campbell missing and that his body was found using sonar. Campbell's body was found in a pond behind Obama's Martha's Vineyard property on July 23rd, 2023. Records included a July 23rd CAD, computer-aided dispatch, incident report that states Secret Service agent, redacted, advises swimmers unable to locate the party at this time. Party last seen sick, wearing all black on a paddleboard, African-American male.
Wait a second. Why was Secret Service involved?
It's Obama's estate.
I suppose.
They're going to be crawling all over the place because Obama was supposed to be there, remember?
Yeah, but they should be around Obama. They shouldn't be checking out what his chef is doing.
Well, they defend the whole family, though.
Which is where one of the girls were. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Received a 911 call from the above-noted RP, reporting person, who identified as a Secret Service member. RP is requesting at least an ambulance response, unsure the exact services needed. The report continued. RP advised best access is from the residence. They are deploying a rescue swimmer and a Zodiac boat right now. Zodiac boats are those little boats. The report added RP advised no life vest was worn. They have recovered the paddleboard and clothing. Still no contact with missing party. They still have a boat and rescue swimmers in the area. Judicial Watch reports that at 8:25, the report notes that the Oak Bluffs Fire Department was sending a dive team. At 8:36, a Coast Guard helicopter was deployed, and as was a state police helicopter. Sergeant William Bishop wrote in his report on the incident, the next morning the dive team's search continued and a deceased Mr. Campbell was located using sonar. The investigation will now be handled by the Massachusetts State Police and the Cape and Islands District Attorney's Office. No further action. It's concerning that Judicial Watch had to push for information on the tragic death, such as the new revelation that Obama's Secret Service protection reported Mr. Campbell missing.
Yeah.
Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said, I'm more interested why he was naked.
Well, this goes to why Secret Service is involved.
Yeah.
He goes out paddleboarding, okay, and then why would they assume he didn't go home, go for a walk? He's missing. The only way they immediately get involved with him missing like that, somebody was with him.
Yeah. Because
we already know that. Sorry, we already know that there have been reports that there was a second paddleboarder.
Oh yeah, that was confirmed by the state police, I believe.
Yep.
I found it really interesting that they said they recovered the paddleboard and clothes. A lot of people seem to have assumed the clothes were on shore and they were like his street clothes, but they were at the residence. Why would you need to strip down if you're on the edge of the lake at somebody's house? You could just go in your swim trunks. And who swims naked while paddleboarding? Because you're not swimming, you're on a board.
Maybe he was really proud of his junk, man.
That's what I was thinking. He's just letting shit fly in the breeze. But if you were out there with somebody, maybe having a romantic kind of moonlight thing,
yeah,
and you decided to do some strip paddleboarding or something, or he fell in and his pants came off, I don't know. But it sounds like there was something weird going on here.
I'm telling you, he was with one of the girls when this happened.
Yeah. And that would explain why Obama had that fucked up hand and what appeared to be a black eye.
Mm-hmm. Explain why they left the area immediately. Anyhow.
Yep. Just saying, it's weird.
Judicial Watch, I hear you about how fucked up it is that it took this long. And it took you doing legal action to get this information. Could you work on that school shooter and the manifesto?
Yeah, the one that the trans shooter that nobody seems to want to talk about anymore.
Yeah, as soon as the FBI was done with it, they were going to release it. Remember?
Yeah. Well, they're not done with it apparently.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't have pictures of naked kids in it, so they don't need it that long. Did you see the FBI dude got busted for child porn the other day?
Let me dig out some shock here.
Thank you, Frosted. You never paddleboard while helicopter dicking. No, that'll throw you off. Maybe your balance is better than mine. That's some stuff I could never do. Helicopter while you're paddleboarding?
I don't think I have that kind of talent. No.
On flat land, sure, but not on the water.
No, you might turn into one of those hover boats.
That place has security all over it. There should be cameras. It depends. I mean, if you look at where the tree line and stuff is there, I can see there not being a camera right there. What I can't see is how Secret Service got involved that fast.
Well, I mean, if maybe hypothetically a daughter ran up to, there was an incident and she ran up, told her Secret Service detail, then it would make sense.
Well,
or Obama's clean up that mess.
Remember, she shouldn't have Secret Service detail.
Should, but we know how the
We know
the feds like to go the extra mile for certain people.
We've been told that the way that this all was noticed and told was that somebody saw it from the shore and immediately called it in. Some lady, and then they said that they were going out to look for the body. Remember? That's already been reported.
Well, that somebody must have been a Secret Service agent chick.
Yeah, who reported it first? The person who's actually further away from the Obama compound, or the Secret Service inside it?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about this. There's definitely some shady stuff going on here.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I guess we'll find out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we won't. Let's be honest about this shit. We're not going to find out.
It's Obama. He's scandal-free.
Scandal-free. Always has been. He's good at what he does. All right. Next story's ready, Jack, whenever you are.
All right. From the New York Post. Pantsless Florida man, 71, caught spying on neighbor through her bedroom window. Naked Florida man was arrested this week after he was caught spying on his neighbors through her bathroom window, an act he admitted had become a creepy habit. Pinellas County deputies were lying in wait when a pantsless David Lee Henning, 71, allegedly snuck up to his victim's Seminole home just after 5 a.m. Wednesday to secretly watch her get ready for work. But I bet there's all kinds of DNA on that sighting.
Yeah.
Body cam footage shows
the rest of it's blue. That's all white.
Ew. There's a bird that poops here. That's not a bird, Mom. Body cam footage showed the moment officers pounced on the accused pervert, whose genitals were completely exposed. Can I please get dressed? Hennings can be heard asking cops as he's placed into cuffs. No. Officers were first alerted to the hair-raising crime on Tuesday when the victim called police to report a stranger trespassing on her property to spy on her in the mornings. Hennings allegedly snuck into her Gulf Coast yard through an enclosed privacy fence and stationed himself outside her bathroom window. When detectives interviewed Henning, he admitted to regularly entering the victim's yard and watching her through the window because he was curious and sexually motivated to see her naked, Sergeant Amanda Sini said.
You never admit that. You just say, this was the first time.
Yeah, and you're always like, look, I heard a noise, I was checking it out, and my ding-dong just happened to be out.
I had been using the bathroom myself when I heard a noise, so I just ran out.
I heard a child screaming.
Yeah.
Or I heard a lady scream. I thought she was in immediate danger, so I didn't bother to tuck my wiener away. Arresting officers tackled the peeping Tom to the pavement.
Oh.
Ouch. After catching him in the act. So he had a boner and went down. Oh, ow.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Get road rash on your shaft?
If you look at the picture of him being held down, there's a bunch of like little rocks and stuff around, and it's like brickwork. So there's a lot that could go wrong there.
Oh, man.
Arresting officers tackled the peeping Tom to the pavement after catching him in the act, seemingly causing injury to Henning's face. His forehead and brow line appeared bloodied in both the body cam footage and the mugshot.
Well, I mean, that's what he gets. He's peeping on some chick, and he's admitted to it. Gentlemen, if you're going to do this, make sure you wear your underwear. You can just pull them down under your balls. You'll be fine.
Right? Yeah, they charged him with voyeurism and 2 counts of burglary.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he gets. And he admitted to it, so it's not like he can... Look, you talk to a lawyer, people.
Yeah, I want my lawyer.
Just look at that cop and go, wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Wasn't me. Dude, as somebody said in there, porn's free. Why are you... Leave this poor woman alone.
If you're that age, too, why didn't you just be like, where am I?
Oh, no doubt. Faint, yeah. I have no sympathy for this guy. as a man, the idea of just, your Franken beans going into the ground that hard is, it's hard to take.
On brickwork?
Oh yeah. But other than, that empathy of that feeling, fuck this guy. He's a piece of shit. And if he was looking in my daughter's window, I would want them not only to tackle him like that, but to kick him in the nads repeatedly and been like, oh, sorry, we slipped. I'm just saying.
Right?
So fuck this guy. I'm glad he's going to jail. He'd probably go away for a little while for that one.
Yeah, he'll probably get more time for the burglary than the voyeurism, sadly. But it's pretty messed up. I thought it was the fact that he had the goods out and it was, furiously going to town when the cops pounced on him. That they got him dead to rights. It's all on body cam.
Monkey would love the DJ Delay channel then.
JD Delay.
Oh, sorry, JD. My dyslexia. It's never been proven, but I'm fairly certain. Anyhow, look, it's not that I want criminals always beat. If anything happened to my children, there's special circumstances where I believe the police should be allowed to do whatever the fuck they want to those people. Or allow me to. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, that seems fair.
I would do it myself. I'm happy to. Like if this guy was peeping on my daughter and they're like, hey, we got a 2x4 and he's naked. We'll give you 5 minutes with him. I'll be like, cool, I'll take care of that. You don't even have to charge him. I'll make sure it never happens again.
Mo over in Rumble chat said, shit, get Fuentes on the case.
There you go.
He'll sniff out that cum.
Oh, man, that dude is, there's his DNA on the side of that house.
Oh, yeah, it's probably all over that yard, too.
Because he's not out there half naked with his junk out and not jacking it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they caught him in the act. So he had to have been doing this for a long time. Like, he's so comfortable doing it that he went over there with almost nothing on.
That is a good point. How you that comfortable that you went out with nothing below the waist?
Yeah, you didn't even bother with pants, dude. That you're so comfortable in that yard, you didn't have pants on.
Thank you, JB. He's a recovery coach who used to be a convict. He openly talks about messing with Cuomo's or Chomos in prison. Great dude, all about positivity now. Well, good on him. I'll have to check that out. And Frosty Glass, thank you. Can I get 5 minutes with a naked man? Monk. If he's touched my daughter, absolutely. If he's looked at my daughter, absolutely. I'll beat him within an inch of his life, and I will only hit him in the crotch. Don't fuck with my kids. Okay, Jack. I don't even know where to go with the show, but I don't want to read any more stories or anything.
Okay.
I was talking to Satsu the other day, and anytime we do election coverage, especially like when we get into a debate one, I get just burned out on politics and news for a little bit, And going into like yesterday's show, I was talking to him like, I don't even want to talk about news tonight. I just don't want to talk about it. So I'm happy to still do it, but every so often I just get a little burned out on it.
That's understandable, especially because so much of it's negative.
It is, and isn't that a sad thing?
I mean, we're in a kind of a weird place where so much stuff is just really repulsive.
Well, did you see that clip that Sugar Tits retweeted? The Dylan Mulvaney looking dude who's fully transitioned.
Yeah.
And if you watch the video, it's about 2/3. We're not watching that video. I'm not doing that to you guys or myself again. But about 2/3 away through the video, he says he looked in his panties one time and there was blood, and he thought the period fairy might have come.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not how that works.
No,
this is a grown-ass man
who still has the tackle box.
Yes. But then he says this. He says, then I realized I had just made a mistake tucking. Now, Jack, I don't know a whole lot about tucking. For those of you who don't know, that's where you take the goods and put them towards the back so that they're locked away so you can pretend you have a vagina there instead of, a wiener. And somehow he did it so badly that he bled from it.
Yeah, apparently it's real easy when doing that tucking to bruise stuff or pull things. You can actually fuck up your scrotum real bad doing that.
Where are they putting them?
They're just literally pressing it down between like their it's you have to look it up, and I assure you do not want to do that.
Thank you, Keeperdam. By the way, was your 30th wedding anniversary yesterday? The 25th. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Thank you so much for the donation. Jack, we were going to go out to a fancy restaurant, and that kind of got the kibosh put on it.
Oh, whoops.
That's all right. And Lady Monkey, she's like, yeah, do you mind if we do that some other time? I'm like, no, that's fine. And I looked at her and said, you know what we should do? So we should... No. So we should have McDonald's. And that might seem stupid to y'all, but we got married very young, Jack. We just went down to the courthouse and said our I-do's. Our witnesses were my aunt and uncle. My daughter was there. She objected. It's a true story. When the judge asked if anybody objected, my daughter yelled out. But then afterwards, our dinner was at McDonald's. So for our 30-year anniversary, we recreated that basically, and they fucked up our order completely. It was wonderful. But yeah, it was just a little sentimental thing for us. So yeah, it's just McDonald's, but that was a better dinner than if we'd gone somewhere else.
Yeah, the important thing is you had fun and
you
spent time together.
It was a good day. We spent a lot of time together yesterday, and I started to annoy her because that's what happens when I spend too much time with my wife. She's a sweetheart, don't get me wrong, but I am hard to take for long periods.
What?
Yeah, I know. Did Mrs. Monkey call you her McDaddy? No, we don't use the daddy word here like that. Yeah. That is, it was just fun, and when that fell through, and I had the idea of just going to McDonald's, it just seemed right. And you know what? It's the exact same McDonald's. It's the exact same one. We still live in that town, so that's where we went. Got lots of congratulations. My wife wrote a very nice thing on Facebook about it. And my cousin said to her, 30 years with Frank, you're a saint. And I'm like, I should be offended by that, but it's true. Even my own family, y'all. Even my own family.
Well, they know you, so. Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. Rhetorical question. Why do these people always talk like children? Because they want to be around children more often than not.
I believe it has to do with a theory that, believe it or not, Howard Stern had about gay men. It's the Peter Pan complex. Never having to grow up.
Yeah. Well, we are noticing a larger trend of people who have delayed adulthood.
Well, I don't know with gay people. I mean, there's part of it that makes sense, but the theory goes like this. If you, and we talked, I think just yesterday we mentioned this. It used to be that you'd be in your parents' house till you're about 18. Then you'd get a job, you'd get married, you'd have kids. People had kids by like 25. Now they're putting them off to their 30s and 40s.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gay or you're, one of these weirdos, you never have to have that responsibility of the child part. Now, you do have gay people who want to adopt, which kind of throws that into a little bit of contention. But for the most part, what you're seeing with the trans folks, with all of this baby talk and bullshit, is them literally living out never growing up. puberty blockers literally put off adolescence and adulthood.
Yeah.
You put it off for as long as you want to.
Oh, and then you get the weirdos that want to be babies and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I just think some gay men can't get women and they're lonely. I mean, maybe. That's a hard way to go. Man, I can't meet a woman. I guess I'll take it in the butt. That's a rough way to go.
Is that the incel path of circle of life, I guess?
That's the Cozy America First brand.
Oh.
Yeah, but gay adoption is really new. That's true, Dangerous. It is. I can see that with maybe some gay men, especially the ones who go so absolutely flamboyant. I don't know if I believe it with gay men. I really do with the old trans thing where you see these ones who they just act like children. We're gonna put it off and I'll just be a kid forever. It's literally your Pan syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah, Colorful said too many people regressing into childhood. I think a lot of people just never grow up. They're stunted.
Yeah.
I think that's a real problem in society is we don't force people to grow up. There's so little responsibility you have to take even in your mid to late 20s now.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, how come you don't treat me like an adult? Because you don't act like one. That's why. Peter Mam syndrome. Fair enough. But yeah, we don't have, I mean, the things that used to be, this is how you're a grown up. It's not, I hate to use the word force, but yeah, it used to be forced on you. You're 18, get out of my house.
Well, life has a habit of thrusting things on people they'd rather not experience. So it's better to get used to that early in life and say, look, I have to be a grown up now. I got to put my big boy pants on, take some responsibility. Because if that stuff hits you later in life and you've never had any of those challenges, it's debilitating.
Yeah. And I think that's going to, look, there's some pretty good indications that we kind of came out of that recession that we were in, but not really. And it's about to get a lot worse, Jack.
Yeah.
When that happens, there's going to be a lot of people who can't deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't dealt with any adversity in life.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be devastating.
And then you have, I mean, a lot of these. It's weird because the biggest increase in the trans community seems to be girls turning into boys these days. But the ones that you always see, the ones who make a big deal of it, and Dylan Mulvaney's of the world, it's male to female.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they act isn't like a grown-ass woman would act. It's like a little girl would act.
Yeah, like a 12-year-old tween girl.
And those are the ones that I'm talking about when we're talking about, the Peter Pan syndrome, don't want to grow up. But they take a weirdness and throw the whole I'm female on top of it. No, you're not. You're really not. That guy we were discussing just a moment ago in the Sugar Tits video, the video itself seems to be like it's supportive of him. But they mentioned that he had a really hard time, you guys, because he had to grow out his facial hair so he could get electrolysis. Lasering off your beard doesn't make you not a dude. And he's another one who runs around like he's a tween girl.
Yeah. That's why a lot of the trenders become noticeable, I think, because Dylan Mulvaney was like that before, but I'm not convinced that he's actually dysphoric. And same with this other person. It looks like it's more a cry for attention.
I will say it flat out. Dylan Mulvaney is not dysphoric.
Oh, I don't think so.
He's not. Tailfin says gender dysphoria was an exclusively male phenomenon until like 5 years ago. With some exception. I mean, Buck Angel has been doing this since what? The 80s, the 90s, something like that?
90s, yeah.
Yeah. So there's been some female to male, but not very many.
It's incredibly rare in women.
Yeah, it's like 95% men, if I remember the stat, until about 5 years ago. And now it's all these girls in high school. And it's amazing how young most of them are. It's high school, college.
Yeah, it's a trend, and we're seeing people like with Munchausen by proxy push this on their kids.
Yep.
It's become a fashion trend, and all the people with attention seeking or mental problems are dogpiling on, jumping on. And again, it takes away from the people that are actually dysphoric.
Well, not only that, I mean, we're looking at that girl yesterday, right? The one whose mom is trying to encourage her to brag about her testosterone. You're going to look hot when you have a beard. You're ugly now. That's what you're telling your child. You're ugly now. Oh, when you get that beard, you're going to be hot. What? If your child is genuinely dysphoric, I don't think that's helpful.
No, it's
hey, fatty. You know what I mean? What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, those are gross tits you got. The fuck is wrong with you? You're supposed to be this child's support base. And you're basically telling them that until they turn into this boy that they're not, that they're unattractive, which, if they're genuinely dysphoric, they already feel.
Yeah, that kid looked sad on so many levels. The mom was smiling the whole time.
Oh, she was way too happy about it. Especially talking about how hot she was going to be. But how do you say that to a kid? And I think it's Billboard Chris. Is that his name?
Yeah.
He's been pushing this notion a lot lately, and it is absolutely true that it is child abuse. If your child is genuinely going through that, to be telling him how fucked up they are, to be telling him, hey, yes, you are in the wrong body.
Well, it fits the classic markers for Munchausen by proxy. You're the sickest you've ever been. Let me tell you how this impacts me.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at the mom in that video, she's smiling the whole time, talking about her kid, trying to take all the attention on her while talking about somebody else's mental health issues.
Yeah,
There's something really wrong there.
We didn't play it because it's the first part of the video and we skipped that. But when she's talking about the adverse effects the child has had so far, she's still smiling the whole time.
Yeah. Honestly, this is a sort of pseudo genocide against the gay community, because if you're even remotely slightly gay, like you can be a masculine person and still just want to drill dudes or whatever. They're trying to transition you and butcher your naughty bits.
They're
I don't know.
Full Iranian.
Yeah, there's a lot of disturbing things here, and people with actual dysphoria. I really feel for them, because when the pushback comes, this is really going to hit them the hardest.
Faithless points out that mom was sitting in the front, made sure she was front. Here's the truth about girls, and people are gonna girls, fine. Girls tend to have body issues anyway. It's just been a thing that's been a girl thing for a long time. I've even talked about it on here, Jack, where I don't understand why people don't love themselves the way that I love me. Because that's a genuine thing. When you guys hear me talking about how much I love me, I honest to God do. But I've always pointed out also that it's far more girls than guys. Guys, for the most part, even when we know our flaws, we're like, fuck it, I'm still great. Where girls, I mean, the skinniest girl in the world will tell you, I'm fat. And you're like, no, you're not. They find flaws in everything about themselves. And what you're telling them now is, you're right. You are fucked up. You're actually a guy in that body. Do you know how fucking destructive that is? Do you understand how destructive that is to tell people who already don't think they're good enough that they're right?
Well, I mean, if they're trying to escape a lot more if you give them good self-image.
And you have the balls to say that that's compassion? Fuck you. Fuck you right in the ass. No lube and straight in. No anal plug first, just right in prison style. Anyhow, my self-image is frighteningly overinflated. It's not as overinflated as mine. That's how overinflated mine is. I will tell you it's better than yours.
Wow, even your ego is better than theirs.
Even my ego is better than yours.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's I really do love myself. And I really do wish people love themselves as much as I do. I have flaws, Jack. Of course I do. I'm human.
But they're so amazing.
They don't overshadow how great I am.
One of my flaws is I'm so modest. Another is that I'm too good at stuff.
It's like you've actually heard me.
It's like I know you.
And it is genuine. And I wish I could give that to people. I really do wish I could give it to people, because so many of you out there are so worried about flaws that other people don't give a shit about. And it stops you from going out there and being the best you can be. People don't care about you that much. Just being honest with you. Monkey Kasparian? Nah. I'm better than that bitch. Just saying.
Yeah, I've said I'm better than people because there are people I'm better than. Not better than everybody. Not better than large chunks of people, like entire demographics or anything. But I'm better than Anna Kasparian because I never got a nose job. Never needed one. My nose is cute.
I have a cute little nose. I have a cute little Irish nose. I do.
Yeah, I mean, she obviously has some issues.
If you want to know my flaws, I think my ears are a little big. My legs are decidedly short. My torso is decidedly long. I'm a little bit overweight. What else? I think that's it.
We don't have time to go into my flaws. They're all obvious. So,
and none of that stuff should ever hold you back. And especially with women spend a lot of time worried about their flaws.
Yeah, well, they have to compete in the sexual marketplace. We just have to get rich.
Yeah. And this kind of stuff starts, in their puberty years. This is when they start to notice it and they start to become self-conscious. And this is the time that they're targeting them with this gender non-conforming bullshit. Why? What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you trying to get women's suicide rate up like you've gotten their graduation rate? Like you've gotten their graduation rates up? Are you seriously? I'm desperate to know why. Why would you target them at that point in their lives, other than the fact that they are incredibly malleable at that time?
Yeah. Well, the predators know their targets well.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to hit girls with, hey, you can change into something else, puberty's the best time to do it. That's just fact. Doesn't make it the right thing to do, but that's what's going on, man. All right. I'm trying to get this donation loaded up, but my computer's going, nah, bro. Am I even still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay. It's trying to load. I think it was Keldrick. I didn't quite catch the name. Come on. You can do it. I have faith. Hey, I was right. Keldrick, thank you. Being better than Anna Kasparian is like being better than a vegan. It's a very low bar. I appreciate that you say that, but remember, she said, I'm better than you. I'm fucking better than you is actually how she said it. She threw the fucking in there. Jack, we're going to wrap up here. I will probably be playing some Phasmo. Oh, last night went horrible, Jack.
Oh, yeah? What happened?
I died 4 times. One of them was a demon, which isn't fair because the demon will just kill you. The others were absolutely my fault. We just had issues last night. It was fucking issues. Bubba, you out there? Right, Spud Gun. I think Bubba should be sleeping right now. But I'm going to go see my wife because she woke up a little while ago. Go see her, say hi. Probably get something to eat, too. I haven't eaten since dinner last night.
What? You're going to eat and Bubba gets to sleep?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on here? Who
That's
approved all this?
Nobody. but I do what I want, whatever.
Whatever.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for the donations. Thank you for the likes, the shares, subscribing, becoming members of the channel. You guys are fucking amazing. Really do appreciate it. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop a link to a cool video. As always, thank you so much for the tips and all the support you guys give us. It really helps keep the show going. And we are so glad to see you guys night after night.
I'm going to be over on Ranting Monkey Games here in a little while, playing some Phasmophobia again. Really been enjoying it, really have. And I know people want me to play other things, and I will eventually. I might have found a way so that I can play Starfield, Jack.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Did you buy the game?
Not yet.
Oh.
I'm hoping to soon though.
Before
it launches.
Oh.
So we'll see because it launches on the 6th. But there's ways you can get in and actually play it sooner, and I'm hoping to. So we'll see what happens.
Nice.
But other than that, come over and watch me hunt ghosts. It's a lot of fun, and I get scarred a lot, Jack.
Oh,
I get scarred because the ghosts are buttholes.
That'll happen.
Thanks for watching, guys. Pleasure as always, Jack.
Oh, I was glad to be here.
Wait, lots of people have left. No. I can't leave now, Jack.
Oh,
I can't. It's a matter of, it's not honor. It's a principle. That's the word.
Well, I was going to say pride, but
no, it's not even pride. It's principle. You don't leave until the fat man sings, and I haven't sang yet.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You haven't.
I haven't even sung during the middle of the show.
No. Well, we sang a couple birthday songs, but I don't think that really counts.
No, that doesn't count. And there weren't that many people here, so it's not like everybody who heard the birthday song left, which I would forgive. But in this case, it's just people leaving. No, we don't. How dare you? How dare you leave?
How dare you?
Have a good night, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
You shouldn't leave until I sing my song. You never know, it might be about my dong. If you see me outside your bathroom window, I'll have my pants on. I love you.